Steve is a tax man who's been doing taxes, I think about 41 years now. And he started as a young kid, taking care of his mother, who was an Avon lady, right, Steve?
Oh, close enough.
Something like that. And you
Something
took
like that.
care of her taxes for her, and that's what got you really, you do taxes for a lot of people, but you do hone in more on network marketing people, correct?
That's correct.
You help us save our bucks, our hard-earned dollars. So I don't have a lot to say because you've done this 3 times for us, and you've helped me the last 3 years to save quite a bit of money, and which I know I would not have gotten without you. So I appreciate that, and that's why you're worth every cent. Because most tax guys don't do the same thing you do. I don't know if they just don't know to do it, how to do it, or if they're a little afraid to do it. I don't know what the deal is, but anyway, you are the expert, and so I don't really want to take much of your time because you can tell us everything that you think we should is most important for us to hear. And if I have any questions or if somebody texts something, we'll ask them as we go along. Okay?
Okay, sounds good. Do I have 5 hours?
No, but you could have like an hour. Well, yeah, as long as you need, but an hour. Our calls are usually about an hour.
We'll go for an hour. All right. Well, thank you, Julie. This is a pleasure. Can everybody hear me okay? Just say yes, yes. Somebody say yes. Okay, Julie's saying everybody can hear me because they're just muted out, and I got a thumbs up from Nancy. Cool. So listen, I am I consider myself a home-based business tax expert and marketing expert because they go hand in hand. You're going to learn some things on the call tonight you didn't know about, and maybe some things on the call you will know about, and you'll just get affirmation and say, wonderful, I just wanted to know that I was going on the right track, and that's good. So, and then at the end of the call, I do have a special offer that I put together something new for people that don't want to go, that don't necessarily want me to do their taxes, but want to do them on their own. So I have a new product that I am just finishing up this week. So it's on pre-sale, so you can take advantage of that pre-sale price on that product. So tonight, I'm speaking for Julie, and it's mostly people who are in the young living business. And I did invite some people that are in other businesses. So just kind of like translate your the young living business into your own business. And as always, do not be afraid to email me. My email, I'll give it to you right now, is steve@do-my-taxes.com. Did I just get the cut off there? I just got a different view. Am I still going okay? Yep, I'm still going. All right, good. I got a thumbs up. I'll keep my eye on Nancy because she gives me the thumbs up. As always, my email is steve@do-my-taxes.com. Anybody on this call can send me a question, and I'll be happy to answer it. I'm not one of these guys that say, oh, well, gee whiz, if you don't buy my stuff or you don't come to me to do your taxes, you can't email me, and God forbid I help somebody without getting paid. That's just not my style. And Julie can tell you that I've helped many people that have not come to me to do the taxes, but I just want to get this message out. I've been actually doing this for 44 years now. It's funny because the Avon thing gets kind of mixed up. It was my mom's Avon lady that I did her taxes for her at her kitchen table. And yeah, Julie, why don't you share my email address there onto the system? So it was my mom's Avon lady, and I rode my bicycle over in the snow to do her taxes at her kitchen table. And I'll never forget it because I had been doing her taxes for like 2 years, and her husband of 44 and I was 16. He said, this is just garbage, this business. It doesn't help anything. And I don't know why she wastes all her time with it. And I said, look here, man. Now I'm 16, he's 44. I said, look here, do you want me to take away your $3,000 refund? I said, I'll be happy to do that. You're getting $3,000 back because of your wife's business. So don't give her any more hassles. So at 16 years old, going up against a 44-year-old guy who is bigger than me, I just said it like it was. The fact of the matter is that you will find that having a home-based business is the only way to permanently lower your taxes. Now, I am thankful, as are many of my clients, are thankful for the recent tax cuts that came through. A lot of my clients were saving anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 a year with the new tax cuts, on top of what they've been saving on their home-based businesses. So last year and this year, I've had some whopper of refunds because of the tax cuts used along with the home-based businesses. So if you are looking to do that, if you're looking to save money in your taxes, you're at the right place at the right time. And I guarantee you that by the end of this call, you wish you would have had one of your prospects on the line here tonight to listen to this, because it would have sold them right into a home-based business. So you might want to replay it for them. So we're going to start. I don't talk a lot about myself because you're not here to hear that. You're here to get some information on saving money on your taxes. So that's all I'll say about me. Oh, except for the fact, here, I'll tell you a story. I am in Australia right now, and a lot of people say, oh my God, he's in Australia. Well, I lived in Pennsylvania, so most of y'all don't live in Pennsylvania, so there's no difference between me talking to you via Pennsylvania or via Australia. We still use the same internet. And so a story, a couple years back, I think it was almost 10 years back now, I came down to Australia, and one of a person who shall be nameless sent an email to my clients and said, Steve's moving to Australia. He doesn't, he's not going to be able to do your taxes from down there. It's going to be a disaster. So a few of them left. And now, last year, I got a young lady back who has a home-based business. And she said, Steve, she said, I just don't feel like I'm getting the same service or the same refund that you used to get me when you did my taxes. And I said, well, send me over your last 3 years tax returns. We'll have a look at them. At the end of the day, she got about $13,000 back from those 3 tax returns of errors that missed deductions, errors, et cetera, et cetera. So she got $13,000 from 3 years tax returns. She left me about 9 years ago, and she foolishly asked the question, how much did I really lose by leaving you? And I said, do you really want to know that? And she said, yeah. She said, give it to me. And I said, about $40,000. So if someone loses $40,000 over the period of 9 years, think about that. Just let that sink into your head. If someone over 9 years will give you $40,000, you could put that in a retirement fund and have more at retirement just by your tax savings. Okay, just think about that and how that would be for your family if you'd have. So let's just say 10 years, $4,000 a year. What would you do with $4,000 a year? We hear the tax cuts from previous administrations where they gave you $300 or $600. Come on now. What do you do with $300? I spent $300 this weekend on stupid, silly things. But $4,000, $5,000 that you can avail yourself to just by having a home-based business, what would that do to your family? For your family. See, there's 2 tax systems in America. Number one is for the tax system for an employee, and the other one is a tax system for a home-based business owner. The first tax system, you get to earn money, you pay tax on it, and you get to live on what's left. That's what a lot of Americans are doing right now. They're going to have a job, they get taxed, and they live on what's left. You can hear it. I listen to a lot of interviews. I listen to a lot of political things. So you hear people talking to people in the street, and they say, what's your biggest problem in life? They say, well, look, by the time I get my paycheck and they take taxes out of it, I got nothing left. All right. So what is your biggest expense? Obviously taxes, because people are complaining right away they have no money after tax. The other system is for a home-based business owner. This is a good system. We get to earn money, we get to live, and then we pay tax on what's left over. So it's a philosophy. It's a philosophy of living, really, that you have to come to around to and say, this is my business, this is what I do, and everything I do is connected to my business, and therefore I can deduct a whole lot of things that other people can't. An employee can't deduct their cell phone, they can't deduct their internet, they can't pay their children, they cannot deduct their car mileage, they can't deduct part of their home for where they work. So all those things come into play. And if you are on the call as a distributor of Young Living, you're in the right place at the right time. All you have to do is now just plug into this system that I call income tax reduction. I wrote a book called The Income Tax Reduction Guide long time ago in a faraway land called America. And I now have since put that on a portal where people can sign in 24/7, and I sell lifetime access to that portal, and it's updated constantly to so everybody has the latest information. So before I get into the fun stuff is, how do I save money? Before I do that, you have to be aware of 3 rules. You see, the IRS is just not going to give you these deductions and say, yes, have a good day, and you can take everything you want. You don't have to worry about being in business, but you have to be in business. You see, a lot of folks, and I'm not downing these folks. I'm a Young Living distributor myself. I go and I've become a distributor because I don't like to pay retail. I like to pay wholesale. So I've been involved in network marketing since I was 20 years old, or direct sales, whatever you want to call it. So I do what you guys do. I've built teams of well over 500 people. I did that. The business I retired from, I promised myself, I said, I want to build a team of 500 people in 1 year. And that's what I did. Collected a check for 6 years from that business just off that effort. And so I do what you guys do. And there are people that get into Young Living to just get a discount. They're obviously not going to file a tax return. They just want a wholesale price, and that's fine. But if you want to be in business, okay, you need to be in business according to the IRS's rules. Number one thing that you want to do is you want to have an intent to profit. Now, notice I did not say you have to show a profit on your tax returns. You look at Amazon, you look at Starbucks. Amazon, how much did Amazon pay in taxes last year? 0. Okay, they paid 0 in taxes. How did they do that? They followed the rules. You can get as upset as you want about that and go out there with a sign saying boo Amazon and say unfair, but they followed the rules. They paid 0 tax. You're here to follow the rules so that you can pay as little as possible. Warren Buffett said it's your personal responsibility to pay as little income tax as possible. All right? But you have to have an intent to profit. What does that look like? That means that you have to have a business plan. Now, don't answer this. Don't type it into the chat. But ask yourself, do I have a written business plan? I'll wait for all the smirks and the, oh my God, he didn't say that. I did say that. Do you have a written business plan? So if I was going to take a trip from Australia to America, I certainly would have a plan, or else I'd be swimming in the ocean and it's really cold there. And there's lots of sharks and spiders in the ocean. I know there's no spiders in the ocean, but I just made that up. So a written business plan consists of who, what, when, where, why, how. That's it. What are you going to do for your business? Okay, the IRS wants to see a written business plan. I can guarantee you I've studied audits and from the IRS, and they disallowed this couple's all their deductions because they did not have a written business plan. Hey, they're doing a lot of business, but they said, you know what, you don't have a written business plan. We're going to disallow all these deductions. Boom, that was it. Over. Money, money, money. Fines, fines, fines. Penalties, penalties, penalties. All right. So what you're going to find is when I'm talking here, I'm going to tie everything to your business. Tax deduction, and it's going to improve your business. If you have a business plan, you cannot help but improve your business. All right. Number two is you have to have activity, sufficient activity. What does that look like? Oh yeah, I see Julie's putting up her little business plan. That's my business plan template that I have out there. Very simple to follow, but very powerful. Your hand knows more than your head. When you write something down, it becomes psychologically embossed on your brain. So second thing is have sufficient activity to make a profit. I guarantee you this, if you open your date book and your date book's empty, I guarantee your bank account's empty. If you open your date book and it's full, I guarantee your bank account's getting full or full already. Because the more activity you have, the more business you will do. So the IRS says, look, if you're going to work this like a hobby and work it once a month, forget about it. If you have a consistent, persistent effort in your business, that means you're working it almost every day. And you can do something for your business every day and document it in your date book. This is the documentation. The documentation for the intent to profit is your business plan. The documentation for sufficient activity is your date book. This is my big grid date book. This right here is audit evidence. This is evidence that I am in business, you see? So people say, oh, Steve, how do you fight the IRS? First of all, I don't fight anybody. I'm a lover, okay? So what I do is I embrace the opposite of the coin. It's just like my wife with her disease. She is not fighting Lou Gehrig's disease. She is embracing health. So I embrace the rules, you see. I go in with my business plan. I go in with my date book. The third thing that they ask is you have good record keeping. All right. So what do your records look like? I don't have a shoebox around here, but I do have a client that brings a shoebox to me. He brings a shoebox every year. What do your records look like? If I was to look at your tax return from, let's say, 2018, can I go from your tax return to your records and find the information out? Do you have all your receipts filed correctly? Do you have your receipts? Do you have something entered in a journal? I mean, this is simple as your records could be a spreadsheet on Excel. Okay. Every time that you enter your bank statements into an Excel spreadsheet, that's a record. All right. And every day, every entry, you put meals or travel or whatever, and then add it up at the end of the year. That's a record. So that I could pull a number, say travel. I could pull that travel number off your tax return, go back to your spreadsheet. At the bottom of your spreadsheet, and it says travel $4,000. I can look at all the entries in your spreadsheet that go back to your bank statement. And from your bank statement, I could go back to your receipts or your credit card statements, okay? If you're having trouble with bookkeeping, please email me. I will set you up on a system. I should do that as a product and sell it as a product, for goodness sake. But I will set you on the right path as far as your records are concerned. So if the look, I knock on wood, I've had less than 5 people audited in 44 years, and there's a lot of reasons why that happened that I'm not going to go into now because it's in a whole other seminar. But the people that did get audited survived the audit, except for one person who didn't do what I told them to do. Simple. They lost. Okay. People that do what I tell them to do win because they come in with their written business plan, their date book, and their records. Boom, in and out. All right. So those are the 3 things that you have to do. If you don't do those 3 things, you're not in business, according to the IRS and according to me as well. Well, let's just put it that way. You're not in business. You're fooling yourself. You're dating, what my mentor used to say, you're romancing the business. You're not in business. So the philosophy of the deductions is this. What we do as home-based business owners is we take our personal expenses and put them in this little gadget called a home-based business, and it comes out the other side as a business deduction. And how do we do that? We do that with the blessing of the IRS because they're the ones that set the rule. Okay, they're the ones that set the rules. And I'll give you an example. This is a bone of contention with a lot of young living consultants. And every year, somewhere along the line, my video gets put on a board or something, and a few people go crazy over this deduction. But I'm sticking to my guns because it's been proven in an audit. So the IRS defines a business deduction as anything that's ordinary or necessary in carrying on a trade or business. Ordinary and necessary. You see, now we're going to talk about this young living order, the order that you have to place in order to stay active, in order to get commissions. All right, otherwise known as ER. So this order that you have to place every month in order to get paid is a deduction. Most accountants will say, no, it's personal, you can't deduct it. Well, earlier, Julie alluded to the fact that do they know what they're doing? No, they just don't study it. Okay. I don't know any other accountants. I don't want to know any other accountants. I just do what I do. So let's take a look at that order that you place every month. Is it ordinary? Yes, it is ordinary in this industry for companies to say you have to order at least $100 worth of product to get paid. It's ordinary. There's not a business out there that doesn't require some form of monthly order to get paid. All right. There's a new one out there that I'm working with that they've skipped around this controversy and said that, you know what, we're going to allow you to get paid if one of your customers makes an order. So, they've recognized that there's a controversy about that. So that's what they did. But for Young Living and 99.9% of everybody else, if you have to place an order to get paid, that's a deduction. So my advice is put all your stuff that you're going to use personally in that order, and so you can write it off 100%. And I have a website out there called yltaxtips.com, and there's another article on there on how to write off all your oils. It's a blog post that I put up there many moons ago, and it's still the same. Nothing changes. It's still the same. So yes, you can write off 100% of your order every month. That's it. Okay, done. Perfect. No controversy. Is it necessary? So it's ordinary and necessary. Yes, it is necessary for me to place that order in order to get paid. Too easy. I write off. I would, if I am a Young Living distributor, but I don't write it off for my taxes because I don't need to do that. I just buy the oils for myself and my wife. But if I were using it for my taxes, every single oil is a write-off. Okay. So I would put my toothpaste, I put my thieves stuff, my cleaning supplies, I put all the oils that I'm going to use in my personal order. Everything else is for this. Everything else is for promotions. You are in the marketing business and you're marketing oils. What do? I promote oils. You know, I a long time ago, one of my good friends, Quinn Stringham, she's a Young Living distributor. And, you know, she had a tackle box full of oils and she carried them with her all the time. You know, somebody have some, and this is the way she got me to buy, oh shucks. It's the ones that, the roll-ons that come in there. It's green. Anyway, I had a pain on my hand and she just started rubbing it on my hand and it went away. And I said, oh, I want one of those. You see, this is what we do. Okay, we're in the business of promoting oils. Deep Relief. There you go. Thank you very much, Carrie. Thank you very much. And that's how you get people. It's, you know, look, people, we're in show and tell. We're going back to grade school. Remember show and tell? I do, and I'm 58 years old. So, yeah, we're promoting oils. So everything else is promotions, folks. And once again, you can go to YL Tax Tips and see that blog post and you can figure that out on your own. Let's take another big deduction is your car. All right. This is converting your personal miles into your business deductions. The IRS is giving you 58 cents a mile, for goodness sake. Okay. And this is what I do. In my business plan, I write down everywhere I go, I promote my business. I do that by using my car and my husband. You know, if I was doing a Young Living as a business, I'd give it to my wife or to my partner, to my husband, and say, carry these things with you. Anybody that has this, give them this, give them this, give them this. Okay. So everywhere I go, everything I do, I promote my business. So when I get in my car, what's the number one thing I want to do? I want to promote my business. This is what I did when I first started my tax practice. I wanted to write off every mile that I drove. So what I do, I went around town and I hung up posters on boards in convenience stores and phone booths, because they had phone booths back at that time. And I would go into stores. And I still do this today. I put up my business cards and my flyers, and I take everybody else's down because they're all prospects, you see. So I get to write off my miles. Everywhere I go, if I go to visit my parents, I deliver products to my parents, okay? My main purpose of getting in my car is to promote my business. I deliver products to people. I'm going to meet my sponsor. I'm going to meet my prospect. I'm doing all these things, you see, and you put them in your date book. What you're doing, I'm driving to the Starbucks to meet a prospect. I'm driving to here to meet my sponsor. We used to go contacting. I started back in my day. I started in Amway, and we went on contacting trips. We used to go into malls and contact people, you know, and talk to people and try to get them in Amway, which I never sponsored anybody in Amway. So, but we still went out and did it everywhere I go. Now, let's just say, if you can convert half your miles to business miles, what would that do for your deduction? Let's just say that you know, have drive 10,000 miles for business times 58 cents. You know, what is that? $5,800 deduction. What's that for most people? Most people, that's about $1,000 in their pocket. What would you do with 1,000 right there in one deduction, just one? If you're on this phone call and you're not doing this, I just gave you $1,000. I didn't give you $1,000. The IRS gave you $1,000. All right. What do you have to do for this? Keep a log, keep a mileage log of where you go, what you do. Okay. Quick story. One of the first people that ever got audited was my good friend. At the time, we were in an Amway together, and he had zero sales in Amway, of course, and he had $3,000 in a mileage deduction. So they called him in, said, "What are you doing?" He says, "Oh, look, we're out here trying to get business." They said, "Where's your mileage log?" He handed them the mileage log. They looked at it. They added it up. They said, "You added it up wrong. You actually owe you more money, but we're not going to give it to you. So have a nice day." Away he went. Okay, you see, do what is required. He was in and out of there in 10 minutes. He asked me if I was going to go with him, and I said, "Why? Why am I going to charge you $200 an hour to sit there and do the same thing you can do on your own?" Okay. Use your car. If you want to write off 100% of your miles, get a sticker on your car that says, Young Living Oils, and put your website there or put your phone number there. Okay. You're a rolling advertisement then. So everywhere you go, everything you do is 100% tax deductible. Mary Kay has a great slogan. I talked to one of the Mary Kay national directors. She said, "I'm not in the makeup business. I'm in the new car business," because that's what they do. They promote to getting a Mary Kay car everywhere they drive. It's promoting their business, you see. So let's go into. I'm just checking off these important things and also looking at my time. So we did the car. Meals and entertainment. I'm going to do this because this is always a fun thing. Every meal that you have, I want you to write off every meal that you have out with somebody. It doesn't matter if it's friends, family, prospects. The prospects are easy. Your sponsors are easy. All this other stuff. But I'm going to show you a way. I'll show you a way really quickly to write off every meal that you have out without being a pain in the butt. Can I say butt on over Zoom? Without being a pain in the butt. And I used to get I still do. I still get many referrals. I built a business of over 5,000 clients with no advertising. I do it by referrals. So this is what I do. I'm having dinner with a good friend of mine, and I don't need to pay for his dinner to write off mine. So I'm having a dinner with a good friend of mine, and in the conversation I'll come around, "Steve, how's business?" And I'll say, "It's awesome as always." And I'll say, "John, can you do me a favor?" And so, "What's that?" He said, "Look," I said, "I know you're not the type of person that uses potions and lotions, and I know that you don't believe in these oils or making money with the oils, but if you could do me this favor, if you run into anybody that you think that would be a good prospect for me, could you hand them my business card?" Now, I'm handing them 2 business cards, one for him, one for someone else. What did I just do in that span of 30 seconds is I asked for referrals. You see, that's a business purpose. Everywhere I go, I am asking for referrals. And I'm asking for it in a way that it takes the other person off the hook, because I take them off the hook by saying, "I know you're not the type of person to rub oils on your body. I know and I'll tell them, I know that you're financially free. I know that you're financially independent. You don't need any more money." But I'll tell you what, some people, when they get home, they'll look at this card and say, "Steve doesn't know that I'm deep in debt," or, "What about me? Can he help me make money through oils?" You can change people's mind. That's a way to write off all your meals. Get referrals for your business. I told you, every deduction is tied to a way to build your business. There's no deduction here besides like cell phone and internet and stuff like that. Well, there is a way on the internet to build the business, so you write off your internet. But we'll stick to the main ones. Right there. So meals and entertainment, write off all your meals. Easy. Now, I'm going to tell you something that the IRS did a fantastic. Well, the IRS didn't do it. I guess the current administration did it with their new tax cuts. I thought to myself, with the new tax cuts, they took away the exemptions, but they increased the standard deduction. You see, so if you have children, if there's anybody on this call or anybody that you know, or anybody that's in your downline or upline, cross line, sideways line, that have children between the ages of 7 and 17, this is a gem. As a sole proprietor, you can pay your children up to the amount every year that's the standard deduction. So standard deduction for a single person used to be about 6, now it's 12. Now watch this. Some people come to me and say, Steve, I got all these kids. That was your problem for having them. So I told my mom, I said, you must have loved childbirth because you went back 4 times. So I have all these kids. I got all these expenses. Can I write off my private school? Can I write off the food? Can I write off all school clothing? Can I write off their school supplies? Can I write off their sports equipment? I said, this is the way to do it. So if you're listening, if you're multitasking, I know some ladies like to multitask. So if you're multitasking right now, stop and write this down. Right now, you can pay a child between the ages of 7 and 17 up to $12,000 per year. $12,000. Okay? For the average person, that's about $2,000 a year in their pocket for doing some simple things. And I'll tell you what the simple thing is. Simple thing is you have to have your child help you in your business. Where's your business operate? From your home. Okay? When I was 7, I was running a vacuum cleaner. I was doing dishes. I was doing all that stuff. You can have your kid do dishes. Sorry about that. I got in trouble once for calling children kids, so I'm sensitive to that. You can have your child run the vacuum cleaner, clean your home office, wash your business car, do all those things and pay them. Now watch this, what happens. So let's say that you pay them $10 an hour, okay, to do all these things. And at the end of 2 weeks' time, you have a timesheet and you figure out, I'm going to pay my child, $500 for that 2 weeks' time. You write a check from you or your business account to their account, $500. You hook a debit card up to that account, your child's account. You take that little debit card and you go buy groceries with it. Did you just not write off your groceries? You did. Because the IRS says the only things you need to do is you need to keep a timesheet. They need to work. They need to work for a reasonable wage. You need to write them a check and deposit it in their account. What happens to that money afterwards? It's of no consequence. So you can pay them up to $12,000 a year. If you get to the end of the year and you're only at $10,000, give them a $2,000 Christmas bonus. It's just money, moving money. Do you know what? Do you want to know why the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poor? Because the rich keep listening to stuff like this and the poor people keep watching TV. Okay? So that's how you keep your money. I have a guy that has 2 children and he's getting $24,000 a year tax deduction. What is that worth to him? Over $4,800. Okay? Over, close to $5,000 for just moving money. All right? Simple deduction. These are simple things to do, and I guarantee you that most people won't do them. You know how I know? Because some of my clients still don't do it. I say, why haven't you paid your children this year? I just didn't think about it. But you need some money. This is the way to get money. Now, I'm running up against time, so we're going to go to the home office. This is more fun stuff. Where do you work from? You work from home, right? Yay, we get to write off the home office. Now, a lot of people say to me, Steve, if I write off the home office, doesn't that raise a red flag to the IRS and I'll get audited? I'll say, silly. The IRS are not that smart that they put a line item on your tax return that says expenses for the business use of your home and they're just waiting for somebody to put a number there so they can grab you. But that doesn't work that way. So area, it says the area that's used primarily for business. A lot of people say, well, I don't have a separate room. I don't have a separate entrance. You know, don't worry about that. I have an area that I use. I see Miss Robin sitting there. It looks like a little home office area that she's sitting in, and it has a nice little sign up there, neat. So the area, a lot of people use areas of their house. You know, they don't have a separate room, so they use an area. I have an area here because my wife has assigned me an area. This is my area. And I better be careful because she's outside and she'll listen to that. So you take the area that you use for business, divide it by the square foot of your total home, and say, let's say, for example, you get 10%. Are you ready for this? This is the fun. I have to gear myself up for this because this is really fun. Are you ready for this? You can write off 10% of your mortgage interest, your real estate taxes, your home mortgage insurance, your mortgage insurance premiums, your homeowner's insurance, your rent. If you rent, you can write off 10% of your rent. You can write off all of your utilities, 10% of your water, your sewer, your gas, oil, electric, and you can write off your repairs and maintenance. So watch this now. This is really cool. You can write off 10% of your cleaning supplies, your lawnmower, your lawn mowing person if you get your lawn mowed, your snow shoveling if you live in crazy portions of the United States. That's one thing I don't miss. You can write off 10% of all your repairs and maintenance if you go out and buy a hammer, if you go out and buy nails, if you go out and buy spackling, if you light bulbs, curtains. If you put new curtains in your house, you can write 10% of that. If you get a new dishwasher, if you get a new microwave, and you can write off 10% of your toilet paper. And people say, what? 10% of my toilet paper? I say, yeah. If you have a home meeting and I come to your house and there's no toilet paper, I think you might be buying new curtains because I'm not going to not go home clean. You know what I'm saying? So 10% of your toilet paper. What does this take, folks? What does this take? This takes discipline, you see. Anything worthwhile takes some discipline. So back in the day, when I was writing off my home office, I have a little different setup right now with my businesses. I have several businesses that I operate, but I'm trying to find a receipt on my desk. Oh, good luck with that, Steve. What are these receipts? Oh, here's a receipt. So what I used to do is I used to go to the grocery store, you see, and just have a receipt like this. And what I did was in my trolley, in my cart. In Australia, they call the shopping cart a trolley. So I have to get back into the United States head. So in my cart, I would put all my cleaning supplies and my household things in one end of the cart. And I give all that first. And they would run that through the register, and I say, could you hit subtotal? And you say subtotal, and it would give a subtotal of all those things. All right. And that's my home maintenance things. Okay. So you see, like right here, I have, my squirt bottle with some cleaner in it, stuff like that. So I would go home, then I would put in my record keeping system. I spent $35 on home maintenance, okay, for that grocery time. You see, it takes discipline. And if I go to buy a new microwave, I go home right away. And I used to do a lot of work with Longaberger people. I'm sure you heard of Longaberger baskets. That was my first major push into the direct sales. Unfortunately, they went bankrupt, the Longaberger people. So I told them, get a basket, buy yourself a basket, which is tax deductible anyway for your office. I said, put all your receipts in your basket for your groceries and add them up at the end of the year. It's discipline, people. All these things are discipline. Paying your kids is a discipline. Keeping track of your home office and your home office area. Anything that's in your, say you have an office area. I can't really show you my little office area. say, I have a poster of Clint Eastwood. Not better yet, I have a map of the world back there. Okay, that's in my office. Did I write off the cost of that map? Everybody do this with their head. Yes. Okay. I got a picture. I like Corvettes. I'm getting my 1980 Corvette this year because I can. So I have a calendar on this side of my desk with a Corvettes on. Did I write off my calendar? 100%. Yeah. Okay. Anything that goes in. I have a plant up there that you can't see. Did I write off the cost of my plant? Yes. Okay, we're all getting into this now. You see, everything that you do, it's a discipline. You say, oh, well, Steve, that's just little stuff. No, it's not. By the end of the year, folks, you add up all the little stuff, you're going to put $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, sometimes $4,000 in your pocket for all this little stuff. All right, it's a discipline, and that's what you need to work on. Yes, Carrie said it all adds up. Absolutely right. It all adds up. So I went through the 2 tax systems. I went over the 3 things that you need to do. Philosophy of deductions. We went to car. We didn't do travel. We did pay your kids, home office, your standing order. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly cover travel because it's important, because I do a lot of traveling. I've been back and forth in the last 10 years. I've been back and forth 52 times to the U.S. I go back about 5 times a year. I see I'm putting on some nice oils there. I'm jealous. I'm going to have to grab some oils. I have some meditation oils here I'm going to put on. Everywhere I go, every place I do, everywhere I go, everything I do, I promote my business. I don't throw up on people, but I promote my business very backhandedly, which is an art in itself on how to talk to somebody and promote your business without throwing up on them. So let's talk about travel. The IRS says, what is travel? Travel is when you go away from your home overnight or long enough to require sleep. All right. So let's just pretend that I'll give you the easiest thing. Can everybody still hear me? Something went crazy with okay. Say you go on a 7-day cruise. Now, what business did I tell you in? You are all in the people marketing business. Are there people on the cruise? Yes. And you can market to them. How can you market to them? By going and throwing up on everybody? No. Gather information. So when I go on a cruise, my main intent when I go on that cruise is to gather information. The IRS says that you have to work 4 hours and 1 minute out of a day to make it a business day. So what do? Do I sit at my desk on a cruise and work 4 hours and then go out and have fun? No. I'm going to go out and have fun. I'm going to talk to people and gather information for at least 4 hours, which is an easy thing to do because I'm gathering information all the time. So what am I doing? How do I gather information? I run up and I say, Tashina, hi, my name is Steve. How you doing? I'm doing fantastic. What brings you on this cruise? And you start a conversation with people. Well, what do you like to do? What do you do for a living? Do you like that? Et cetera, et cetera. And you can gather information about people. If they seem to be a good prospect, you can use the business card. Well, look, I come on this cruise and the IRS subsidizes some of my cruise. I'm not sure if that's of an interest to you, but here's 2 business cards, one for you and one for somebody else. If you have an interest in something like that, give me a call after the cruise is over when you get back home and settled, and we can have a discussion about it. You probably wouldn't want to give me your name and number for me to follow up, would you? And they say no, and I say, I didn't think you would. That's okay, but some people do. You see, and you just move on. But you don't do that to everybody. You just pick and choose the people that seem to be a good prospect. And that's what we do, people. We're in the marketing. We're in the people business. What do? We build networks of people, and we put products through them. Correct? Correct. Okay, awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm pushed up against the hour. What I want to do is I want to give you this website. Now there's several ways that you can work with me.
Well, remember we started 10 minutes late, so I do want to give people an opportunity to ask questions. So
let's do questions then. Is that good? Can we do questions? Awesome. All right. Cool. Anybody have any questions? Oh my gosh, I didn't do that well, did I?
Yeah, Robin, feel free to unmute yourself and chat.
Oh.
This may not be, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Not to throw a curveball here or anything, but a friend of mine is with 31,
yes,
that purse thing, and their attorneys talked to them and said that there's so many changes that are going to be happening with MLMs. And I know that Young Living's on top of everything all the time, but have you, just curious if you've heard of anything?
Look, when people say something like that, Robin, I get kind of like, oh, what's the motivation behind that? Are there a lot of things happening with MLMs? Sure, there's things happening every day with MLMs. Nothing that is out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna be concerned about it or
no.
anything until Young Living gave us the heads up, but I didn't know if you knew anything specific.
Yeah, look, Young Living is one of the few companies that are they do keep abreast of things. Market America is one of them too, because they're the only company that requires retail customers that you have to document.
Yeah, I think that was something to do. It was going to be something to do more with some retail stuff. But
yeah,
anyway.
I think that I think, Robin, just to piggyback on that and to tell everybody on the call that the Amway decision back in the day, back before probably Robin was born, they paved the way for this business to exist. And one of the things that was in that court decision was that you have to have at least 10 retail customers. Now, when's the last time anybody said, show me the documentation that you had 10 retail customers? Never. Okay, but be prepared for that. Go out and get some retail customers, people. Don't be afraid to sell your products at retail. What can a bottle of frankincense do for somebody's life? How much is it worth for somebody with fibromyalgia to get rid of their pain? Charge them retail. It's worth it. So yeah, that's a good question. I would tell everybody on this call, go get yourself some retail customers, because it probably is coming down the line sooner or later. They would get onto it. So good question. Thank you for that. Anybody else out there? Can everybody see me?
Nancy.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
Okay, Steve, so I am still small Young Living. I'm an executive. How much business loss can you take and not be a red flag? Or at what point does it become, if I paid my kids $12,000 a year, that's significantly more than I would ever be paid. So
yes,
what is it? What's the common sense ratio there?
Common sense. I'll answer that question by asking a question. How many years do you think IBM has been showing a loss? Or Xerox or Amazon? You can show, I'll give you the technical answer. So I gave you some perspective. The technical answer is you can show a loss as long as you want if you do these things. If the things I talked about in the beginning, if you have an intent to profit, you keep a written business plan, if you work your business consistently, if you keep good records, you can show a loss as long as you want. Okay, because paying your children is what they call a paper loss. All right, they'll look at that and say, well, that's really a paper loss. Doing all your car mileage is just really a paper loss as well. So common sense. Look, if you're showing a business loss for about 3 years, I would certainly say to yourself, maybe I would up my game a little bit. But as long as you can substantiate your business, as long as you have a written business plan, as long as you have this diary, your date book, as long as you're keeping good records. I have clients that have been showing a loss for 20 years. And as long as you're not afraid to sit across the desk with somebody and hand them all that information and all your receipts and say, here's all my information. Or you hire somebody like me to go in for you to do the battle. But with paying your children, it will throw most people into a loss, and that's fine. That's the idea of this ball game, is to convert all your personal expenses into business deductions. Like you can write off 100% of your cell phone, 100% of your internet, all these things that I didn't even go over on this call. Will put most people in a loss. The thing that they look at, Nancy, is that if you have retail sales and you have some override commissions, say that you have retail sales of about $5,000 a year, and you have some override commissions, say $1,000, so that's $6,000. $6,000 gross income. Now, if you go out and buy, $12,000 worth of oils every year and write those off, well, that's going to look silly, isn't it? So as long as you keep that, keep that upper part of the income statement in check, which I probably went over your head a little bit there, and you're probably confused. But I would email me, and I can help you with that. Feel free to email me and ask me any question that you want on that. But you can write off a loss as long as you want. Is it good? Oh, Nancy muted herself. I think she's all right. Is she okay? Are you good? Give me a thumbs up.
I am
Nancy.
good. I'm good. Thank you. Yeah, I got
Right. Okay, cool. Somebody typed a question in the chat just now. As far as going somewhere, wherever you go.
Yeah, I wrote a little bit earlier. I was going with basically how small is too small to start. If my team is so small and it's almost more like a hobby, do I really need to be doing these deduction things? Someone told me, yeah, when you're a gold, you should worry about this. When you're past executive, I'm not there yet. But I think what you're saying is just get used to keeping track of everything.
Well, I don't know the person who gave you that advice, so it's not like I'll tell you what I used to do when I built teams. Everybody that came on my team, it didn't matter how small they were or how big they were. When they came on my team, they were in business. In other words, to get that business mindset straight out of the gate, okay? Everybody starts at the same place. Everybody orders the same kit, okay? If I were you, I would say, you know what? I'm in business right now. It doesn't matter if I have $100 in sales or $10,000 in sales. I'm in business right now, and I'm going to treat my Young Living as a business. And I'm going to deduct what Steve says I can deduct. I can deduct my cell phone. I can deduct my internet. I can deduct my mileage. And guess what? At the end of the day, you're going to be so thankful to plug that in right now, rather than wait until you become a gold. You're in business right now. Okay. As soon as you buy your kit, Carrie, you're in business. All right. And your business is that there's no hobby. There's no hobby. That doesn't come into your vocabulary. You see, strike that. I'm a business owner.
I'm using your words from earlier.
Right. When someone asks you what you do, say, I own a Young Living business and I help people get rid of their pain and move into pleasure. Okay. I'll tell you the best 2 years of my business, I did well over $2 million in business, was when my mentor, every time he picked up the phone, he called me Big Money Steve. Okay. He says, Every time, hey, Big Money Steve, hey, Big Money Steve, how you doing, Big Money Steve? He just programmed me that I was big money, you see? And if you can program yourself that you're in business and you're big money, then everybody that comes on your team, Carrie, you program them to be business owners as well, and you'll have a team of business owners, okay? You're gonna have the people that wanna get on there and buy it for wholesale. That's cool. Everybody needs them. But yeah, so treat yourself as a business and you will become what you treat yourself as.
That's true. And part of my other question, you were talking about the commute. I actually live in South America 10 months out of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And does it matter where you live? That you still have to pay U.S. taxes, right?
Yeah.
Where the business is done?
Yeah. You like I do business in Australia and America.
Uh-huh.
So, it's a little
that's
bit more.
not relevant on a network company.
No, I can do business. You can do business anywhere. Cool.
I'm just afraid I have to pay taxes at both countries.
No. It depends if you have residence. Yeah, I have residence. I have a permanent residence in Australia and America. I file tax returns in both countries. But I don't, believe me, I don't pay much in taxes in either one of them. So, and that's not being braggadocious.
That's good to know.
That's the fact. Okay, awesome. There goes business owner Carrie. Yay.
So Steve,
yep.
Down in Florida, I come down here every year and I work my way down, stopping at different young living people. Actually, this year I only stopped at 2.
Yep, that's all right.
Yes,
that's
it is legal for me to write that trip down here, the gas, the mileage, the hotel I stayed in, and even the home for the first few days that I'm here. It's legal for me to write that off because I worked my way down, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And your primary purpose of that trip is to meet with my distributors, and my primary purpose of the trip to Florida is to
and now that I'm in the house, I set up everything. I don't know if you can see, this is my counters. I put my business stuff everywhere in the house so that anytime anybody comes to visit me, it's here for them to use if they want it. We just had actually a family thing, but several of them are distributors, a couple of them weren't, and they all sat here and played with the oils. Is that all right offable?
Well, that's part of your area that you use for your house, and you have all your products out there, which are promotional products that you can write off there. As it's interesting the way the IRS looks at things. So let's say you buy a bottle, all those bottles. If one person takes a drop out of that bottle to sample, it becomes a sample. Right. So my friend Quinn used to carry around all her stuff with. In a tackle box, all her oils and stuff, and you just have to drop one drop of oil on somebody. That's a sample. You can use the rest of the bottle yourself because you're in that business. So yeah, you have to, just like I was telling Carrie, I said, you have to come to that business mindset that your business and your personal kind of come like this, okay? That you're always thinking business. A lot of people say to me, said to me over the years, Steve, you're always thinking business. I said, yeah, that's right. And I said, I'm living in Australia, living the dream, and you're not. So what does that say? Once again, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying this is what can happen. You want to have your dreams. You want to have the lifestyle. See, in America, we do it backwards. We send people out to get a job, and then they try to fit their lifestyle around the job. Pick your lifestyle and earn your income to fund your lifestyle. You see.
So to go along with that, 5 of the people that were here today are already members, and 4 of them could be my prospects. Yeah. Although they're family and friends, could I think I know the answer already, but I'm just trying to put this out there for them to start thinking like this. The meal that I made for everybody, is that now a meal for business?
Well, you had an open house, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
sounds like a big old business meeting to me.
Yeah.
Well, you had
Leah's coming down here next week, and we're having our annual LLC meeting, whatever. And that will be that she's got to come here to get me if she wants to have that annual meeting. And believe me, she's going to write off her ticket. There's just all these things that it's taken me a long time. I've been doing this 6 years now, and it's taken me literally until this year to really get that mindset that you're talking about. Steve,
Yeah,
I mean, I was always afraid to do it. Like you said, I'm going to put up red flags. There's no red flags. The IRS puts these rules out there for us to use. And if you're doing it the way Steve says, then it's legal and it's perfectly fine. And they're not looking to just sit there and pick you out of a million things because you have, 10% of your house and all your stuff written off. Everybody does it. It's in business, in a home-based business. So
that's right. Yep. So
you've opened my eyes
awesome.
so much.
Well, that's good because you kept bumping into walls. You kept bumping into walls, so it's good to have your eyes open.
Yeah.
So we're at quarter after. Are there any other questions out there that I can answer? Anything on your mind? I don't want to go over everybody's time. There's still 13 people on, which is good. Good lucky number.
Appreciate you a lot.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. I appreciate that comment. Well, let me just quickly give you this. There's a couple ways that you can work with me. Number one, you can have me do your taxes. That's easy. You can go to www.do-my-taxes.com. And there's a big blue button on there that says make a $35 deposit, and then I can start your taxes. I charge $395. I have done so for the past 10 years. I haven't raised my rates in 10 years. Charge $395 to do all your taxes, federal, state, local business taxes, and they'll be done right. My intent is not to make you rely on me. My intent is if you want to do your own taxes after the first year, that's great because now you have a template to do your taxes. So you can hire me to do your taxes for $395. You can buy my tax portal, which is online, and I'm confused at the website that I want to give you.
E-Success?
No, that's my email. You can email me. Everybody has my email. You can email me for the link to buy my tax portal. It's $147. It's a lifetime tax portal. There's videos in there, how to do your own taxes. There's everything that you can deduct is listed there. There's some Young Living things in there specific to that. Or you can take advantage of my new product watch this. A lot of people can't afford $395. A lot of people can't afford $147. So I put this product together, which is fun. It's on an Excel spreadsheet. And all you do is go down on the first sheet, you type in all your expense totals, and it's customized for Young Living, and it's customized if there's other people on this call, it's customized for your business. You type in just a number. Say you type in a number for your cell phone, your internet, you type in all these numbers, and it automatically goes to a Schedule C, and you can print that Schedule C out and use it for your taxes.
Wow.
So it takes the mystery out of it. There's a place there it says type in your ER orders for the year, and it goes to a line item on the Schedule C. You don't even have to think about it. I'm going to sell that product for $100, but you can get it for $29.97. If you go to www.do-my-taxes.com/oils, okay, OILS /oils, you can buy that product for $29.97, and it will be delivered to you on Friday. There's just a couple of tweaks I need to make to it. I don't want to give you an imperfect product, so I decided to do that product during tax season, which was silly of me, but some people ask for a product like that, and I said I'll give you a product like that. So you can get it for $30, which is tax deductible. All the other ones are tax deductible as well if you want to work with me. And I guarantee you this, I can guarantee you without a shadow of a doubt that if you pay me to do your taxes, you will save much more than $395. Some guy emailed me today, it was a referral from one of my good clients in Michigan. And he said, Steve, what are the odds that you can save me money on my self-employment income? I said, the odds are in my favor, my friend. I said, it's a money back guarantee. It's $395. Go to this website, make a deposit. Go to the website, make a deposit, and we'll get started. I said, if I can't save you at least 3 or 4 times $395, I'll give your money back.
Isn't your fee actually a write-off itself?
Yeah, it's a write-off. It's a write-off, and I'm just going to my computer right now. And yes, he emailed me last night, and he's made his deposit. You see, you just have to go out there and get your stuff done right the first time, and then you have a template, or you can buy the template for $30 and go at it that way. And you can always ask me questions about it. I don't care. People email me all the time. Julie messages me 10 times a day, but that's okay. I love her to death. I only do it because
a week.
Yes, I only do it because Larry's cool. But listen, I can see some of you, but if you learn something on this call, just raise your hand. Just raise your hand. I can see people. Yeah, that's good. Because I don't want you to walk away without having learned something on this call. If you didn't learn something on this call, email me and ask me your question. I'll be happy to answer the question. It's daytime right now in Australia. It's 12 noon, 12:21.
Monday.
Monday. I answer all emails within 24 hours. So just email me. Get it done. Save some money. Just imagine if you had another $100 a month to put back into your business. Just imagine that. Some of you probably on this call are, yeah, go ahead. Oops. Some of you on this call are probably saying to yourself, I wish I had more money to buy some inventory or some oils, some extra oils. That's okay, Nancy, don't worry about it. Just imagine if you could put $100 or $200, $300 a month in your pocket to buy more oils. How would that feel? Feel real good. That's how you get the money to put in your businesses, save money on your taxes. So with that being said, I think I have to go make my lunch. I actually went to Melbourne this weekend, and they have a USA store, and I bought some clam chowder. They don't have clam chowder in Australia, so I bought some clam chowder from a USA store at $9 a can. I love clam chowder, though. Hey, I
hope you get to write that one off.
Yeah, I haven't figured out how to do that yet because I don't. I actually did because I do have 2 kids between the age of 7 and 17, so I use their debit card. Because I do pay them to work in my business, one of my businesses. So, well, thank you very much. And thank you, Julie. Shout out to Julie. She thinks highly of everybody to give you this call. Feel free to share it. You know, I'm not afraid of anything. You know, some people say, oh, don't share it. Share it. There's nothing I said on this call that's not researchable or not. There's nothing here that's illegal. I probably told some bad jokes, but that's okay. Just enjoy it. Share it with your downline. Share it with a prospect. Because you know what? I sponsored over 500 people in my last business just by using tax deductions. So I've proved that it works.
Yeah.
Amen. How about that, Julie? Okay, all good?
Good
That's
job.
awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody
Another good
happy?
call.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, I got a clap from Robin. Look at that girl. I just want to know who that good-looking guy was behind Robin. Anyway, everybody take care.
Those are supports.
Us, the supports. Well, have fun and stay away from the snow.
All right. Thank you, Steve, again for another great call. And I'm sure everybody got something good out of it. And we'll talk to you again. And I hope you all will at least text him, email him, ask your questions to him. He'll be there for you.
All right. Thanks,
Good night,
guys.
everybody.
See ya.
Thanks, Tina. Night,
How do you
girls.
turn this off?
I don't
Thanks,
know.
Steve.